Save 937-210-9676 in your phone. It's the ESPN Dayton Fan Hotline. College football playoffs, Browns, Bengals, Buckeyes, and more. Catch the Keith Byars Show Mondays at noon on 1410 ESPN Radio. He's a former Buckeyes great and now a college football Hall of Famer.
Look at him go! He simply runs out of his shoe. He's running so fast.
And don't forget about his 13 years of NFL experience playing for the Eagles, Dolphins, Jets, and the New England Patriots.
Watch for the great block by Keith Byars on Pepper Johnson. Bam! Right there. Byars just nailed it.
He's Dayton's own Keith Byars. It's the Keith Byars Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken on Dayton's home of the Ohio State Buckeyes, 1410 ESPN Radio.
Welcome. You're listening to the Keith Byars Radio Show. 937-457-9464 is a phone number to call me. The show is brought to you by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. And that Buckeye fight song still just is all in me. It still doesn't want to go off. I don't know if you hear it like I do it. But nevertheless, it's a playing in the background. Also, you can hit me on Twitter at KAB41. And I'm live streaming right now on 1410 ESPN.com. You can go in and see the show, and you can let me know some of your comments or questions or concerns then. But hey, I hope it's a good Monday afternoon for you. I hope your week's getting off started with a bang. You know, we've had some kind of weekend. We had some kind of week. But before I go too much, I just want to just take time out and express my condolences to three people that passed over the weekend. You know, all ex-athletes. No particular order. Former University of UConn forward, 18-year career in an NBA National Basketball Association. 6'10", Cliff Robertson was on those Portland Trailblazer teams that lost to the Pistons and the Bad Boys in the conference finals. In the NBA finals, as well as the Michael Jordan Bulls. You know, Cliff Robertson, very reliable forward, played a long, long time. So he passed away. He was 53 years old. I'm sorry to hear that. I know he had a stroke a couple of years ago, which also leads me to just this morning, get my alert on my phone, breaking news. Former, long-time Georgetown head basketball coach, John Thompson, is 78 years old. He passed away this morning. And, wow, John Thompson, that's all you want to say. And everyone knows who he is. I can still see him standing on that sideline with that big old beach towel draped over one shoulder, calling, Patrick Ewing to the sideline, to discuss some kind of strategy. Just an excellent coach. At a fine university as Georgetown, and won a national championship in 1984. Head coach of the Olympic team that won the bronze when they were still all college kids against all those pros. And then that back in 1988, that bronze medal led to the Dream Team in 1992. They're like, okay, enough of this. These people are beating up on our college kids against professionals. Well, we got some professionals too. If y'all want to, turn to Olympic and that kind of showcase. So that sprungboard the Dream Team. And we all know about the Dream Team led by all of them, 11 of the greatest players ever play. I know it was 12 people on the team, but Christian Laettner, you don't get to be lumped in with the 12. 11 and one college kid. And that was Christian Laettner, but that was Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. The list goes on and on and on of great players. But John Thompson, just a tremendous coach. And the next one, he's not necessarily, he's an actor, but he played a lot of sports role. He played the Jackie Robinson, role in the movies, the Jackie Robinson story. Chadwick Boseman. And all I have to really just say, that's his name. A lot of people just know him by the Black Panther. 43 years old, colon cancer. He's been, stage 4. He was diagnosed, 4 years ago with stage 3. He never said anything. No one ever knew. So it caught everyone by surprise. And It's just going to be, the good ones, sometimes die young, and, it'll be forever young. He'll always be, Black Panther to us. So it's still fresh. They showed Black Panther on television last night. And, I caught myself watching it, a little bit of it. I haven't on my video, so I have it on DVD. So I see it all the time. So Chadwick Boseman's all three: Chadwick Boseman, Cliff Robinson, John Thompson. Our condolences are sent to you from the Keith Byars Radio Show. So much talk about. Hate to start the show with that, but I just meant to to take the time to do so. Coronavirus, guys, it is still out there. Don't relax. Just because we're starting to get more and more sports, you still have to wear your mask, do the things. My producer and Justin Kenner last week when we were at the high school football game in the booth, socially distanced at the Fairmont Centerville game last week. And I had to give a shout out to the Fairmont fans. They was socially distanced in the stands. I think maybe one or two people didn't have a mask on, and they may have just been putting some nachos in their mouth then. But I saw a lot of mask covering last Friday night, and we even had our mask on in the booth. So, guys, really take that stuff. I know not that you're not taking it seriously, but continue to do it so we can stomp out to get back to a life without masks, someday. But, why the scientists do what they have to do. Also, BLM, Black Lives Matter. It's now and not later. It's not a slogan as you may have seen in some of your television or airwaves that you made. That's not a slogan. That's a movement. It's not a slogan. So that, which I bring up Black Lives Matter, because what happened last week? The NBA said, okay, enough of this. There was a protest led by the Milwaukee Bucks, first time in NBA history, something that we've seen anything like that. So, kudos to the Milwaukee Bucks. And the reason why the Milwaukee Bucks did it was because of the shooting in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Unarmed black man, again, Black Lives Matter, 7 shots. Where they shoot him? 1 for each day of the week. 7 shots in the back. But that led to the NBA boycott. It was for about 3 days. Stalled all the playoffs, so we didn't get any playoff games until Saturday. And I'm still trying to figure out all the things that they was boycotting for. What did you get? And then one of the things, all the NBA arenas will be used as voting booths. So I think that's a really good thing. But they should start here. It should be all around. But I don't want to get too political on this sports show. But sometimes politics and sports merge. And it didn't just start in 2020. You can go back. I don't know how far you want to go back. 1936 Olympics with Jesse Owens, Muhammad Ali. So let's not be naive here, folks. Yes, we love our sports team and we love our sports heroes, but sometimes the two interact. They do cross paths, and when they cross paths, it happens. And also shout out to the WNBA. I know the NBA got most of the attention, but the WNBA, their players, they was protesting too. And they're just as profound. They had T-shirts with bullet holes in it to get their point across. And so sometimes you have to be profane to be profound. Somebody has to understand. So I know they may have been taking those people may have taken those T-shirts as really offensive. What's more offensive? Somebody wearing a T-shirt with fake bullet holes in the back, or somebody actually wearing a T-shirt that got shot 7 times? So come on. So when you see this on your nightly news and you read about it, in your paper or your internet or whatever, it has to be real. It has to be real. And a lot of times it's not real until it's in your living room, until someone, affects you. And, I always say, let's do random acts of kindness. Let's love our fellow man. And it starts with you. It starts with me. It starts with us. That's how we do it. I heard a statistic this morning. I'm still trying to get it all 100% verified. But when the NBA players, when they boycotted, one thing that they found out, not just during the boycott, but things in their discussions when they were talking about what we want to do, 20% of NBA players, of all NBA players, 20% are registered to vote. Let that sink in. 20% of NBA players are registered to vote. So I understand why you boycott it and all that stuff. But if you don't vote, your vote is your voice. If you don't vote, it doesn't matter. You could boycott, you could take a knee, you could do all that stuff. But if you don't vote, what? Come on, guys. And that came up in the meeting. That came up in the players' meeting. But Chris Paul, Oklahoma City Thunder, he's like, wait a minute, you guys are 100% right. But sometimes you ask the question, what are you going to do about it? Chris Paul said, everybody on Oklahoma City Thunder, I made sure our whole team is registered. So kudos to Chris Paul, kudos to OKC. That needs to go through the whole NBA, as well as Major League Baseball, as well as the NFL, as well as hockey, and all other pro sports or people and college kids. If you're 18 and older, because you want to be a part of protests, and protest has been a part of American history since America. So don't say it didn't start in the 60s. It didn't start, try the 1760s. We've been protesting for hundreds of years in the United States. But protest means nothing if you don't vote. So people, got a lot to say about a lot of things on whatever, letters behind your ballot. But if you don't vote, you have no voice. I don't want to hear nothing from you. You vote with your voice. Your voice is your vote. So you want to have something to say about our society, make sure you get out there and vote. Make sure you get out there and vote. Players, that's how you make a difference. So I remember when I was playing, Charles Barkley came out with a famous Nike ad, I am not a role model. Yes, you are, Charles. You are a role model. Whether you're a good role model or a bad role model, you are a role model. And that's part of, being in the public eye, whether you play sports, whether you're a police officer, whether you're a fireman, whatever you do, a lawyer, you are in the public eye, you are a role model. If you're a dad, if you're a mom, you are a role model. Brothers and sisters, you're role models. People are always watching you. Are they watching the good in you or are they watching the bad in you? That is the question. So we have got to always, make a difference in people's lives. Is it a positive difference or a negative difference? Excuse me. No, that's something up my nose. That's not the kind of sneeze, guys. But nevertheless, that's what it has to do. But when the NBA players was on protest, and I was 100% behind them, and we have to stop this shooting of unarmed black men. And the police, I love you. Huge supporter of the police. Huge supporter of police. Some of my best friends are police officers. So I'm a huge supporter of police. But we need more good apples, weeding out the bad apples, and not the other way around. That's all I'll say about that. NBA playoffs are back on. I just mentioned that. Saturday, the NBA playoffs are back. And so, some people got their walking papers. The Lakers put away the Portland Trail Blazers and finished their seasons off. The Clippers did the same thing with the Dallas Mavericks. So we are in the semifinals now of the NBA. This is something we usually had this conversation in mid-May. Here it is, and now we're having it in late August. Tomorrow be September, but nevertheless, we still are sports junkies, and anytime, anywhere. But I'm really, curious before I go and breaking that down too much. Which conference is going to win? The championship this year. Last year, everybody had whoever represents the West to win it all. East is just sending a sacrificial lamb. I know we're a few weeks away from that answer, but right now, the teams that are standing in the East are the Miami Heat, the Phoenix Suns, the Milwaukee Bucks, 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 the Milwauk and the Milwaukee Bucks. They're the semifinals matchup. And Boston Celtics and the Toronto Raptors. They're the both Eastern Conference semifinals. As a matter of fact, Boston is already up 1-0. They went up 1-0 on them. Which one of those 4 teams are going to represent the Eastern Conference in the NBA Finals? Are they one of those 4 teams capable of winning it all? I don't know. I don't know. But I think of those 4, I think the most total team is probably the Boston Celtics, and the best team is the Milwaukee Bucks. But we will see. That's why you play the game. Herm Edwards, you said that you play to win the game. So we will see. And in the West, the Lakers, they're waiting for the winner of the Nuggets and the Jazz. That's what, they'll get the Lakers in the best of 7. And the Clippers, the other LA team, or some people say the LA team, depends on which one you want to ask, they're going to play the winner of the Thunder and the Rockets. And so one of those teams, one of those 6 teams, if you will represent the Western Conference. Who will it be? I don't know, but we're going to find out more over the next couple of weeks. I'm glad I'm not a bettor, because I don't know who I would put my money on. I know if I was a bettor, I'd be a loser, because I'd put my money on the Philadelphia 76ers, and so I'd have been out. So I'm not a bettor. I'll sit back, and watch it. But, we're going to, get into that. Before I go to break, I want to take a moment, to talk more about the Dayton Varsity Club. That's a club that I'm affiliated with. Me and some other Dayton Public School alumni, remembering, our past, so to, give the young players a chance to see what was in front of them and let them, pass the baton or light their torches and continue, the success of Dayton Public Schools and some of the great schools and the alumni that have come out of there. This week, I'm going to talk about Meadowdale. That's not an old school. It's still a school. They're still in existence. They're still one of the high schools that are still open in the Dayton Public Schools, so we're glad about that. And they have quite a few distinguished alumni. I'm not going to go into all the details of all of them, but one of them, I talked about him specifically about a month ago. Los Angeles Dodgers catcher Steve Yeager, all-star in Major League, had a long career, played on, championship teams, and he was a Dayton Meadowdale alumni. So Steve Yeager, shout out to you and your family. I'm sure you got family still living here in the Dayton area. Also, Meadowdale High School has produced Tanja Buford. She was an Olympian in 1996 in 400 hurdles, and I've been knowing Tanja since she was a little girl, so I didn't get to go to the Olympics because I was still playing football at the time. But I watched her on that Friday night jump those hurdles, and I told her afterward, I said, I'm so tired. I jumped every hurdle with you. You should have seen me in the dorm in training camp room. I was going, go, Tanja, go. So to see someone, from your hometown, go on and become an Olympian, that's just awesome. Of course, last week we talked about Edwin Moses being an Olympian, and Dayton has a lot of greatness. So Tanja Buford, Meadowdale High School, you're certainly one of them. Another Meadowdale alumni, Irv Eatman, UCLA, outstanding football player. I still remember I was upset at Irv. He didn't go to Ohio State because he came back to Ohio State as a sophomore and just wore up. He was all in. He was killing Art Schleicher. He was playing defensive tackle at the time. We couldn't block him. But he went on and switched and played offensive line, was a 2-time USFL champion. That was the United States Football League. There was a competition against the NFL back in those days, and he was on 2 championship teams with the Philadelphia Stars. And then when the league disbanded, folded, he went up playing another 8 or 9 years for the Kansas City Chiefs. So shout out to Irv Eatman. Irv was a beast, 6'8", 275 pounds in high school, who was going to block him? and then when he was blocking everybody, and he was a basketball player. Let me throw that he was an all-city basketball player too. Irv Eatman was just an awesome talent that represented the Gym City extremely well. Pat Reed, he came out of class of 80. Pat Reed was an outstanding football, basketball, baseball player, all-city. Got drafted into the pros as a baseball player. Pat was just an outstanding high school player, point guard, quarterback, the whole 9 yards. Just great player from Meadowdale High School. Another kid that I graduated with by the name of Eddie Harris. Eddie Harris was all-city running back in 1982. I was doing it at Rolfe High School, and he was doing it at Meadowdale, and ran track. He's on the state champion 4x1 relay team in high school, and then he went on to University of Toledo and played football there, and Eddie's doing extremely well today. Lorenzo Smith, or we used to call him Rennie Smith, all-city basketball player. A lot of people know his son now, Blue Smith. Yeah. Blue got that talent from his daddy. His daddy had a lot to do with Blue as playing wide receiver now for the University of Cincinnati. So shout out to Lorenzo Smith, and also Leslie Evans, another great basketball player, local legend here in Dayton, Ohio. He's an all-city basketball player in 1982. Outstanding hooper. Just Meadowdale has a long list of great players. Last but not least, Anthony Johnson. I had to remember his name. He was a defensive tackle for Meadowdale on the football team, all city. We call him Mothball, but a lot of people, they see him at work. Anthony Johnson, I don't know your name. Your name is Mothball. Tell me your real name. But side note, Mothball had to buy me a pizza when we were in high school because he said he could solo tackle me. And I told him, y'all have nobody on your team, so y'all better bring a whole gang to get me down. And he jumped offside, and it was a penalty on the play, and Mothballs got me around the ankle, and he kept on going until I fell down. And it was a penalty. Whistles are blowing. He's like, that counts. I'm like, it doesn't count. I'll let you. So we still talk about that 30-something years later. Good friend of mine. But he still owes me that pizza from Godfather's, but he never did pay. But I'm going to get it out of him one of these days. But we're going to talk more about the NBA playoffs. I'm going to break that down, see what you think about it. And, of course, I did not forget, we'll talk about the Ohio State Buckeyes. There's some rumors that they may get started possibly around Thanksgiving, and also about the Ohio State player that got shot. I'll give you some of the details that I heard about that after the break. But right now, it's lunchtime still, guys. Pull over in your Lee's Famous Recipe and get you some, and get me on the other side of the break. We got some bills to pay. And right now, you listen to the Keith Byars Radio Show. See you after the break. We clear?
It's the Keith Byars Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, right here on Dayton's home of the Buckeyes, 1410 ESPN Radio.
Roosters is where you, your family, and friends can order pizza, sandwiches, salads, and more. And the home of award-winning wings that are fresh, never frozen. Our Roosters family would like to thank all of our loyal Roosters guests who have supported us during these challenging times. Without you, we wouldn't have been able to keep our team members employed. We are striving to do everything we can to keep you and our team safe. Find a location near you at roosterswings.com. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
I'm Scott. I'm a Park National Banker, and I'm a community board member. At Park National Bank, we believe that we're more than our job titles, and you're more than an account number. Now, bringing our family of community banks together under a single brand name means you get those core values you've always counted on, and more service, more access, and more options. We're all together now at Park National Bank, where you mean more.
Now at Menards, save big money in your next project with 11% off everything. Enjoy autumn breezes with a new Larson Storm Door with styles that will match any home and features like a screen-away retractable screen that hides away when not in use. All Larson Storm Doors are 11% off. Get 11% off everything now at Menards. Good through September 5th. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Attention men under the age of 35. You know what really impresses the ladies? When a guy has a few drinks and later gets pulled over for buzz driving. That could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. There goes let's grab dinner and a movie. Oh, I know. You drive more carefully when you're buzzed. You've proven that hundreds of times. A woman admires that kind of confidence. And you've practiced how to speak if a cop does pull you over. Slowly, clearly, and politely like, "Good evening, officer." A woman admires that kind of foresight. And what woman doesn't find it adorable that you call it buzzed even though the law calls it drunk? You can kiss $10,000 goodbye, along with any chance of having a girlfriend. Because nothing says, "I'm a catch," more than a guy who lives in his parents' basement and calls it my place.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hi folks, it's me again, and I'm cooking in the sun just like you are. But you know, you can still plant those trees and shrubs right now, and with proper watering, still gain a full summer's growth. We keep our garden center fully stocked all summer long with thousands of good, healthy trees, shrubs, evergreens, perennials, and annuals, because we know that some folks just can't get it all done in the spring. Also, this time of year, there are lots of bargains all over our 6-acre nursery and greenhouses. We have potted rose bushes as low as $14.95, plats of annuals starting at $12.95, and hanging baskets as low as $6.95. We still have a great selection of Rose of Sharon, boxwoods, hydrangeas, and barberry. So come out to 1309 Brent Pike, and remember, we're open 7 days.
Hi, this is John McManus, Chief Deputy Clerk to Montgomery County Clerk of Courts Mike Foley. Our office is working hard to make sure that residents of Montgomery County are connected to the money that they're owed. If you've been through a mortgage foreclosure, you may be entitled to excess funds. If you're waiting on a county check but haven't received it yet, you may be entitled to unclaimed funds. Please visit our website at www.courthousetou.com to find out if you're eligible for money that may be owed to you. Brought to you by Montgomery County Clerk of Courts Mike Foley.
It's Mattress Firm's Labor Day sale. Hurry in and save up to $500 when you get a king bed for the price of a queen or a queen for a twin. Plus, get a free adjustable base when you spend $6.99 or more. And save up to 50% on select mattresses from our top-rated brands like Sealy and more. Shop in-store, online, or by phone today. Don't wait. Only at Mattress Firm's Labor Day sale. Offer valid with qualifying purchase. Restrictions apply. Valid at participating locations only. Some products only available online. For offer details, visit mattressfirm.com/sale.
Here's Howie Long for Skechers Arch Fit Shoes.
If you've never tried Arch Fit shoes from Skechers, you're missing out on next level comfort. Saying you like comfort but not trying Arch Fit is like saying you like Italian food but you've never tried pasta. Skechers teamed up with podiatrists who used over 20 years of data to create a shoe that provides total foot and arch support for all-day comfort. Arch Fit distributes support across the arch no matter what foot type you have. You don't need an arch problem to love how they feel.
See all the styles of machine washable Arch Fit shoes now at Skechers.com.
Well, Jason, I've got to tell you, you're pretty much everything this company is looking for in an entry-level candidate.
Great.
Your resume isn't quite what we're used to, but you've got a fantastic work ethic.
Thank you.
And I'm impressed by how you carry yourself.
So, should we talk about the job?
What? The job? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have no way of recruiting or even meeting you. This interview didn't happen.
It may sound ridiculous, and that's because it kind of is. There's a huge pool of talent your company is missing out on. Meet the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Man, we really could have used him.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
He's a former Buckeyes great and now a college football Hall of Famer. And don't forget about his 13 years of NFL experience playing for the Eagles, Dolphins, Jets, and the New England Patriots. He's Dayton's own Keith Byars. Hang out with him every Monday at noon on the Keith Byars Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. He's a former Buckeyes great and now a college football Hall of Famer.
Look at him go. There's something less out of his shoe. He's running so fast.
And don't forget about his 13 years of NFL experience playing for the Eagles, Dolphins, Jets, and the New England Patriots.
Watch for the great block by Keith Byars on Pepper Johnson. Bam! Right there. Byars just nailed it.
He's Dayton's own Keith Byars. It's the Keith Byars Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken on Dayton's home of the Ohio State Buckeyes, 1410 ESPN Radio.
Welcome back. You listen to the Keith Byars Radio Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. Phone number is 937-954. No, that's not right at all. Let me give you that phone number one more time. I think I'm in Florida with 954 area code. Let's try one more time. 937-457-9464 is the phone number to call. You can hit me on Twitter with your questions, KAB41, or you can live stream and see me right now talking to you at 1410ESPN.com. Before the break, I was talking about some of the Meadowdale High School greats. I can't believe I forgot one player. They got plenty. I got more in the future to talk about, but of course, Jamie Skelton, point guard, the shooting guard at Ohio State, was on those great teams along with Mark Baker, another great Daytonian, and Jimmy Jackson. And a lot of people forget they lost to the Fab Five, the team up north. They lost to them in the Elite Eight, but they beat them twice. They beat them. It's hard to beat a team 3 times, but they had already beat them twice, during the regular season. But Jamie Skelton, he said his father taught him, hey, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. You got 50% chance of making the ones you do take. So shoot the ball. And when Jamie Skelton used to get in there for Ohio State, he was like the microwave. As soon as he get in the game, give it to him, he's going to let it fly. And more often than not, he was letting it fly with success. So Jamie Skelton, we remember you as well. Just a great player. And I know you got a golf tournament coming up in Tiffin, Ohio in a few weeks. So I had to try to get there and make sure I play. But yes, I said before the break, I was going to talk more about the NBA playoffs. Man, where do you start? Where do you begin? This time last week, after the Clippers, not the Clippers, the Mavericks had that big win in overtime against the Clippers. Luka was the name on everybody's tongue Monday morning. Luka, but hey, won a game after that. But hey, I still love Luka Doncic. He wasn't 100%, but anytime you're out there on the court, you're going to be judged. But I think certainly the future is bright for the Dallas Mavericks. They're going to be led by Luka, but hey, they had a good playoff run, and he's definitely the brightest star of the young players during the NBA playoffs to shine. But those Clippers, Asian experience, won out in that series, and so now the Clippers are, like I said, they're waiting for the winners of the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Rockets. Unlike in previous years, when you get your series win over with, you want your opponent to have to play a full component of games. You want them to have to play 7 games, want to get their legs tired. Well, you still want that. It's just their legs they'll be somewhat tired because they had to play more games, but travel does not come into play. Everybody's staying at the same place, right there in the bubble in Orlando. So still, while you're resting, you still want you want them to still be playing and getting somewhat tired. So if you're the Clippers or the Lakers, that's what you want. You got to fight boredom, because you still have practice. You still have, when you're watching films, you're watching like, well, is this team going to win or are they not going to win? Because you got to watch both teams, but one of them is going to be, why do we watch them? We knew they weren't going to win anyway. But so sometimes it gets to be a fruit, we're not going to call it a waste of time, but it's a lack of focus when you're not 100% sure who you're going to win, who you're going to play. I remember, my days when I was in the NFL, you get a bye week. And you get when you make the playoffs, when you're one of the top seeds, you're saying, the media asks you, who do you want to play? Oh, we don't care. We'll play anybody. But in reality, you know who you match up best against, and you want the weaker opponent. So that's, and we just have to watch that film, man. I don't think they're going to win anyway. So, but these games, the Thunders and the Rockets, if you're Clippers, I don't know who's going to win because it seems like it's always a little bit of Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Rockets look unbeatable for a quarter, but then they take a quarter off. And then we'll see what the second half looks like. And that seems to be the ebb and flow a lot. I mean, look at the Jazz and the Nuggets. There's two evenly matched teams. And it seems like when the Jazz win, they win. And then, next thing you know, the Nuggets just keep on clawing away, and they said size will win out. But that series going to game 7, and it's a coin toss who's going to win that game. But your consolation prize is you got to face LeBron James and the eyebrow against the Lakers. But that's a part of being great. You want to be the best, and you want to win a championship. You don't care who's out there. Because you want to be, labeled, hey, we are the champions. We're the champions of the world. Want to be world champs. You don't duck anybody. That's the challenge. That's what greatness looks like. And, I know LeBron and his teams have been to that pinnacle 3 times. And it's hard to get there. It's hard to get there. I mean, he's been to the finals, 6 times, 9 times? What is Justin? What's LeBron's? He's 3-6. 3-6 record. He wants to make it 4-7. So it is hard, to get there. And a lot has to go in your favor. You got to be healthy. And a lot of these games going to come down to the fourth quarter because the better teams, it's going to be a fourth quarter game. I don't know. But when I watched, to go to the Eastern Conference for a second, when I watched the Milwaukee Bucks, the Greek freak, Giannis is just unbelievable player. But he's hitting these 3-point shots when the team is up by double digits. Do you want him taking those 3-point shots with less than 3 and 4 minutes in a game? I don't know. I don't know. But one thing I do know is that this goes for all the NBA players. When you want to be great, you want to say, I'm one of the best players in the NBA. Or if you have ego associated, I'm the best player in the NBA. Or one of the top 5 players in the NBA, you have to do it in the playoffs. That is where you make your name. That's when you take your game to another level. And it's not just in the NBA playoffs. That's the same for the NFL and the same for Major League Baseball. It's just that the NBA is a path easier to the playoffs, and then that's when you make your name. That's when you get to be in legendary status, one of the GOATs, because 82-game regular season, we don't remember that game-winning shot you hit in February in Portland. We just don't remember it, on a Thursday night, But in the playoff time, we remember all these big moments. You think about all of your favorite players that played in the past. You can always quickly recall a playoff game that they did X, Y, and Z. Now, in baseball, it's a little harder. It's a lot harder because in baseball, it's hard to make the playoffs because there's so many games. So when you are one of the teams that make the playoffs, and then you get swept in a 3-game series, and you was like 1 for 15. It's like, man, you're terrible. You don't play good in the big games. I'm the reason why we got to this big game. I mean, Barry Bonds used to hear that all the time in Pittsburgh. And it wasn't until the end of his last year in Pittsburgh, and then when he got to San Francisco, he took his regular season game to the postseason. And whether that's fair or unfair, I think overall it's unfair when you're judging baseball players. But when you have baseball players with long careers, at some point you got to be a difference maker of getting your team in the playoffs. I know you only get 3 or 4 or 5 bats a game, but you have to have that kind of magnetic personality to get everyone else to elevate their game around you in the locker room, because baseball, they have more time with players, with each other than they do their own families. More so than football, more so than basketball and hockey. So it is a family. And so you think of some of the greats in baseball that elevated the others around them. You can see that. Reggie Jackson. Reggie had won a World Series in Oakland. But Reggie said, man, if they naming candy bars after people like Babe Ruth, I can get me a Reggie bar if I was played in New York. Boom. They got him in New York. There was a candy bar called Reggie. And Reggie Jackson won the World Series with the New York Yankees. But again, did Reggie have that postseason moment? Yes, he did. 3 swings, 3 home runs in the World Series in 1978. I know Slimmer's probably watching. Slimmer, you remember that game. Listening. Slimmer, I know 3 swings. That was a difference maker. In baseball, you have those moments that just that are burned in your mind. How about Kirk Gibson with the Detroit Tigers? I was about to say Detroit Pistons. Detroit Tigers. Kirk Gibson, Game 1, the 1988 World Series, against the Dodgers. He's limping up there. Give me the bat. No, I wouldn't hit. No, Kurt was not the Tiger. He was with the Dodgers at the time. They played the Oakland A's. Sorry, Slimmer. I corrected myself. But he was hurt. He come in, pinch hit, and boom, hit the home run. The whole series changed from there, and the Dodgers go on to win. You need moments like that. So I know baseball has a short season, 60 games in 66 days. Who's going to take their game to the next level? I usually see Joe Carter once a year. And Joe Carter with the Toronto Blue Jays hit the walk-off game-winning home run against the Philadelphia Phillies. Even to this day, Joe Carter cannot go to Philadelphia and check into a hotel Joe Carter. He has to change his name because the Philadelphia people remember that. But, hey, Joe Carter will be – they're talking about Joe Carter's home run, 40, 50 years after he's dead. That's how long it's in infamy. So it's playoff time for playoff moments. So these basketball players, it's your opportunity. I love the Greek Freak, Giannis, MVP last year. I'm waiting for your playoff moment. I'm waiting for your playoff moment when you just take a team, you put them on your shoulder, and you go to another level. LeBron James, he's already had his playoff moments. And LeBron said, Keith, don't count me out. I got some more to come. I'm sure you do. But that's what it takes. But your teammate doesn't have any. So Eyebrow, hey, it's time. I like putting pressure on these players because that's when greatness shows up. Kawhi Leonard, he's had his playoff moments, and he's looking for more. Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, the list goes on and on and on. The Miami Heat, are they peaking too soon? Are they ready to win a championship? Jimmy Butler thinks so. Bam thinks so. We will see. And of course, the Boston Celtics, that's why they made the trade to get Kemba Walker. Jason Tatum. They have names after names after name. They have guys. Are they that? And if you're the Toronto Raptors, you're saying we're more than Kawhi. We had Kawhi last year. We got to the conference finals with Kawhi, and they also won it with Kawhi. So right now they're on pace to matching everything they did with or without Kawhi Leonard. Can they go on and repeat? And people say repeat. Like, I know you probably forgot the Raptors won the championship last year. It's easy. Nobody remembers. You know, I remember when they won it last year. I think I may have said something to Justin. We'll probably forget about that by the end of summer. Who won the championship? I was talking to Justin off radio during the commercial break, and he's like, "Who won it last year?" Like, it was Toronto. He's like, "Wow, it does seem like a long time ago." So it does, but you know, they are proving thus far they are more than Kawhi Leonard. Of course, Kawhi Leonard deserved all the adulation and praise that he got last year for winning the championship, but he didn't do it by himself alone. You know, that is a complete team, and if anybody, I think they're the dark horse of the Eastern Conference. So the 4 teams that are left, Toronto Raptors are the dark horse. Even though they're down 1-0, they are the dark horse of the Eastern Conference. Before we get out of here, I just want to take time to talk about the NFL. And it's crazy this late in August, and we're not talking about the NFL because they haven't had any preseason games, and we're left to see some video of these inter-squad scrimmages that are masqueraded as preseason games. And what I read, a little bit I saw Joe Burrows. Oh, man, he seems to be as well as advertised. It's practice, in my Allen Iverson voice. It's practice, man. You talking about practice? You can make a whole lot of things look a certain way in practice. You know what coverage you're going to get. You know what the situation is. And now you're going to put the player in there, so let me see you how to perform. You know, whereas if it was a real preseason game, you don't talk to the other coaches and say, hey, when this guy gets in, don't blitz him as much, or send all your exotic blitzes because we're prepared. You don't know. So you have somewhat of a game plan. So right now, these guys, and I said it before the season started, before the preseason started, that their young guys they're going to be handicapped the most because they don't know how tough it is just yet. Yes, they're practicing against their teammates and they're getting a good look or a better look than they would have had without that. But after a while, you start to get comfortable. You know, your defensive backs, you start sitting on routes, you know, because, you know, the wide receiver, you done seen all his moves twice a day, all day long. And y'all are like, man, I need some new blood. Oh, man, you kind of both are going through the motions instead of let's get through this, instead of let's get better. And so it's one thing to do that during practice, but, you know, at the end of it, we got a preseason game. Now I'm going to be judged against this guy who doesn't know what's coming, what's not coming. So Joe Burrows, if anything, that's going to hinder his progress early in practice, but then also the flip side of that, they don't know what to expect out of him. You don't have nothing to scout him. So when they go into that first game in a couple of weeks now, people are not going to have no professional scouting report on watching Joe Burrows in the preseason. So they don't know what to do. You know, do we blitz him on his weak side, strong side, or how much can we disguise? So maybe that can work in their favor as well. But if you're a Bingo fan, I know you're hoping everything I said works out well for your guy, and so do I. I want to see the Bengals good. I want to see the Browns good. I want to see a Battle of Ohio where it actually means something. You know, it's like, well, who's going to win the division? Is it going to be the Browns, the Steelers? I mean, the Browns or the Bengals, not the Steelers or the Ravens. You know, let them come to Ohio and get thumped up on. And when y'all go to their stadiums, y'all thump up on them. I don't know. I would like to come down to the Battle of Ohio will win the AFC North. That's what I would like to see. You know, that's me. But we'll watch it. And we'll see, but I just wanted everyone. Oh, real quick, I forgot to overlook my notes. The football player at Ohio State that got shot. I just forgot his name. Haskell Garrett, defensive tackle. He got shot Saturday night, Sunday morning. From what I understand, I got to say it real quick before I go to break, before I get off. He was breaking up a domestic dispute between a boyfriend and girlfriend outside of his apartment. He goes in to try to break it up, and the fella pulls a gun out and shoots him in the face. It went through. It was a through and through shot. Thank God. It seems we're going to be okay. no need for violence. I mean, so he wasn't out doing the wrong thing. He was doing the right thing by trying to break up a domestic dispute. So Haskell Garrett, prayers go out to you and your family. So hopefully you're okay. I know they're doing the best they can for you. That's what it is. So Haskell just got caught a good man in a bad place. But you've been listening to the Keith Byars Radio Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. I will see you back again this time next week. Have a great day. And random acts of kindness, be kind to your fellow man and get out and register to vote.
It's the Keith Byars Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, right here on Dayton's home of the Buckeyes, 1410 ESPN Radio.
If you need new roofing, siding, or gutters, skylights, or patio enclosures, if you're a homeowner or business and need someone you can trust, don't take a chance. Enhance with Lance. Lance Roofing and Siding in Fairborn has been satisfying customers since 1993 and hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Lance Roofing and Siding, 8460 Dayton